Hey, this is Mark Fossey, FTC Media here at Xfinity Center. Maryland gets off of the Big Ten snide, winning 81-75 in overtime over Penn State. Uh, Maryland was led by Jameer Young's 28 points, 8 rebounds. Then, of course, Julian Reese. Julian Reese had 24 points and 15 rebounds for Penn State. It was Kanye Clary's 25 points. He loves Maryland because they had a big game against Maryland last year. And Ace Baldwin Jr.'s 16 points. The tail of this game, very simply put, is rebounding. Maryland out-rebounded Penn State 53-31. That included 23 offensive rebounds for 18 second chance points. Simply put, Penn State just could not keep Maryland off of the boards. And because they couldn't keep them off of the boards, Maryland also shot 39 free throws. They were 30 for 39 from the free throw line. Now, you want to give Mike Rhodes some grace here because he needs to get his type of guys here at Penn State. But the amount of reaching and grabbing on defense was just tough to watch. When I mean there was that many fouls called, let me see. Penn State was called for 30 personal fouls. They earned all 30 of those personal fouls. And it was just silly. It was reach, grab. Don't move your feet. Go and try to stop a guy with your hands. It was at times just bad basketball. And it showed. Qudus Wahab fouled out with over 4 minutes left in the game. Demetrius Lilly, another big man, fouled out. Both of those guys had 5 fouls. Julian Reese ended up with 24 points and 15 rebounds and fouled out both of Penn State's bigs on some of this silly, especially Lily's fouls of just reaching in when guys are driving by. And one time, Julian Reese flashed high post, and when he caught the ball, the pass was around his hip, his waist. And when he caught the ball, Lily just wiped down. I mean, what is that? Especially on the college level. So, Penn State, that was Penn State's undoing. Maryland tried to hand them the game. They did some silly stuff down the stretch of the regulation that allowed Penn State to get this into overtime. But, I mean, Penn State was his own worst enemy. Now, for Maryland, you can, Juju Reese and Jameer Young obviously had very good games. Outside of that, it's the same thing. I mean, they shot 28% in the first half, much better in the second half, 40.7%. In overtime, 37.5% for the game, 34.3%. Maryland didn't fix their shooting. They had a lot of offensive rebounds that covered up for some of their L's. And so if you're looking for improvement, Deshaun Harris-Smith did make some plays, those off-script plays down near the end. Jamie Kaiser, even though he fouled out, seemed to always be around the ball. Defensively, offensively, I mean, the effort he was giving beyond taking jump shots were incredible. And he fouled out because of it, but I actually mean that in a good way. It was because he wanted to make an impact on this game besides shooting, because even though he did hit one of the bigger shots of the game, when you look at his numbers, he was 2 for 8 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. He was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So his numbers weren't terrific. But if you watch the game, his impact on the game was more than what those numbers would indicate. So for Jamie, that's good. And again, for DHS, again, the numbers say 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. But the 8 rebounds along with the 7 points and the 4 assists, again, those numbers probably don't say enough about the impact he had on the game that he had. And look, they needed it because Coach at the beginning of overtime had Dante Scott sitting on the bench. Dante Scott had a rough night had a rough night also, 2 for 11 from the field, 10 rebounds, 4 points. But again, he made one of the bigger baskets in overtime when Maryland jumped out to a 5-0 run to start overtime, um, as Penn State went 0 for 8 in overtime from the field. Penn State's only points in overtime, which was the 4 points, came from the free throw line. So again, I think Kevin Willard expressed his displeasure and his sour, kind of sour demeanor, saying yes, it's a Big Ten win, and you're happy with a Big Ten win, because you always want to come out of conference games with wins. And then you got the but he said when he looks at the numbers, I mean, let's just be honest, the concerns are still there. The way Maryland has been playing, sans the offensive rebounds, the way that Maryland's been playing, what's the way they played tonight? The offensive rebounds enabled them to end up with a victory here. So that's my wrap up here. That's 2 nights, 2 overtime games. Hopefully, I get away from the overtime bug as the week progresses here. But again, Maryland 81s, Penn State 75 in overtime. Maryland's first Big Ten conference win of the season. This is Marks Washington from MTC Media.